Hey everybody, so we're back again. This is going to be the second video since I've come back or tried to record again. So today I kind of have a couple of tasks to do in the house. So first of all, again, you can hear the echo here. That is one I'm going to address, but not in this video. So the first thing I want to actually sort in this room before I do anything else is my VR setup. So before, what I've been using is tripods, and you saw one of the tripods in my last lighting video that was holding up the LED panel light. So beforehand, I had them holding these, which are the Vive Lighthouses. So the Vive Lighthouses, you need two of these, one in usually opposite corners, so that you can pick up a full, I think it's either 140, 60 or 80 degree angle from it. So it picks up the movement of your headset and then your controllers as well. So these are usually mounted in opposite ends, usually as high as you can get them, and they need to have optical side of each other as well so that they sync up. Now you can use a cable to do optical sync, but honestly it's just a pain because you have to run it all along like your wall or floor and into each other, and it's another cable you have to run between two of these in opposite corners of the room. It's not practical. Now, in this new house, or the rebuild of the house that it is, there is a drywall, which is this behind me, and there's a drywall on the wall beside me as well, which is the window over this side. The problem with drywall is I know you can mount things onto it, but I really don't want to be drilling holes into it. I already put two major dents, which you'll see, well, maybe you'll see, in the wall playing dodgeball and Rec Room VR, and that's not a wise idea. I could have broken my controllers. Gonna resolve that as well. But I really didn't want to drill on the wall, so my alternative was the two inside walls. So not this one behind me, but the one on the far side, the one behind the camera. They're concrete cinder block. There's no drywall in there. It's very easy to drill and mount. But again, if I ever want to move these, I'm gonna have to like replaster the wall, fill it in, or repaint it. It's just gonna be a giant pain. So I was trying to think of other ways to do this, and what came to mind was a tension pole. So for those that I guess aren't aware or don't know, or have never like installed a shower curtain or anything like that, a tension pole or tension bar is a bar that basically starts small and you can widen it out to either between two walls or between a roof and a ceiling, and it just holds in place based on tension. That's it. That's simple as tension bar or pole. You can pick these up in any homeware store. There's short ones for your shower curtains and all. But if you've got any way tall roof, which is recommended for VR anyway, so you're not like hitting your hands off roofs or anything like that, really it's not going to reach. So my roof in here is quite large. So first off, I was trying to figure out, right, I need a larger bar, but where do I get them? And they do have them in hardware stores, because in construction and all, they would use these to possibly brace a board up against something or something up against something on the roof or on the floor, just to keep it in place, because again it's quite tight and you can tighten them up fairly tough as well. So they're fairly good. Now I found these, and it's not really the shop's fault, or not really anyway. But I ordered them in Dublin. I picked them up and I ordered them out to my office in South Dublin because I didn't want to carry them around town. It was too fairly bars. So I'll show you the boxes. Okay, so this is the cardboard box comes in. That's pretty much the size. I don't know if you can actually see the whole thing in here. Let's see. So that's the size there. It's about maybe a meter and a half in the box when it's all sealed up. And what you can't see right now, obviously, because it's way too tall, and hopefully I don't break my monitor or anything here, is it expands out. And it's got these rubber kind of plasticky feet on the bottom for gripping, so it will not slide, and not slide very easily anyway. The mechanism itself is fairly simple. If you can see,
So there's these little holes here. So these are the click ones. So basically this pushes out. Now these only have 3 settings. So, sorry, 4 settings. So the shortest, the longest, the second shortest, and all the way to the longest. So you get about maybe half a meter out of this side. But the one that has the most is this side. So this side has 2. One's got a tightening bracket in the middle, and the next is, it's basically a pump pull, or you can pull this lever up and expand it out manually, and it goes out fairly far. So that's the construction first of the tension bone. I'm going to install them in a few minutes and you'll see as well. Okay, so like I said, you can pick them up in any hardware store. I don't think you'll get those in the home store, but if you've got like a Woody's, B&Q, or just a home brand hardware store, if you are co-op, if you ask them for a tension pole or tension bar, and specifically you want to measure your roof first, so roof to ceiling, and figure out how big it is. So in this case, I've got like the roof's like 8-9 feet, so this is all the way up to 290 centimeters, which I think is about 9.1 feet, something like that. Anyway, so the idea behind those, sorry, not the idea. The cost behind those is €20 each. So, that's the ones I got from the hardware store, and that was actually the cheapest I found. On Amazon, you could get the ones that you'd have your shower curtain installed with, but they really weren't going to be big enough. Even the big ones were ridiculously expensive. I think the cheapest I found on Amazon for the exact same type of model was about £40. I will link it down in the description to what I got or what I saw on Amazon. But honestly, if you go into any of your hardware stores, you're most likely find them cheaper. But you're looking at a range between €15 and say probably €30-35 depending on the size and obviously the quality. Then we're going to mount these things. So these are just camera mounts, but the cool little things, they're a quarter inch mount point. So they'll actually mount the majority of cameras, the webcam I'm recording from now, microphones and various other things. But the cool thing about this is, if this will listen, yep, it should listen. So this little thing here, 1 second. Yeah, so that'll tighten up that way. Okay, so these things, really cool. So basically a grip, so it'll tighten down onto a fairly small millimeter, about the size of my index finger there. But if you compare the pole, so the pole we have here, pretty much go right around that part. So if you want to mount it from this side, it's fine. This is the kind of shorter side as well, depending on what height you go for. The alternative one then is you've got 2 sides on this. So there's a fatter part, which is meant to be at the bottom, and it will go around this. It's got a push, but it will actually go around this, and it's fairly secure as well. What I haven't tried yet, and what I'm going to try in the setup video at least, is this one. So again, if I pump this out, get the width wise and see if this fits, but I'm pretty sure this won't fit snugly now, so it's completely loose on this side. Now you could pad this out a little bit, but since I'm going to be mounting the lighthouses to it, I really don't want to take the risk. So what I can do is have this part on the bottom and the thicker part here on the top, because I know it'll mount to it. It makes it a little bit more awkward, because really the thick part is meant to be on the bottom, but I'm not mounting a whole lot of weight to these, so it's literally just the lighthouses and maybe lights at the worst, and it would be the LED panel lights, or possibly a webcam. Really, it doesn't really matter as long as I get these installed. I can mount probably about 10 of these on it, and then maybe 10 small devices onto it as well. I would only go for maybe 3 or 4 panel lights if I was doing that, but I can't think of a reason to have more than 1 panel light on one of these. Mainly this is going to be for the HTC Vive anyway. So with this in mind, I think we're going to go install one. We've got 2 to do, and again, the advantage of these is that no drilling. I can remove them as soon as I want. They don't damage anything whatsoever, and I can mount multiple things on them rather than having to drill multiple holes for one thing.
Okay, so that's one installed. The other one's going to be going in the back corner, and I'm just going to move some lights and everything around so that's shown over there. This one is going to be a bit more of a pain. I'm not sure if I'll put it on video. We'll see. The reason I say it's a bit more of a pain is because my desk is also in the way. So I have to get it in there and installed and mounted and all without falling or anything like that. So this may be a video afterwards in the hospital. Let's see. Right, wow, so sweating, but that was so much easier than having to drill multiple holes in two walls. One thing to note about the tension bars is if you don't have them at a perfectly great angle, it's not that critical. As long as the grips are on the roof and on the ground flat, then you're fine. The bowl itself has a little bit of wobble. The actual bottom joint is on a nut joint, so it does go side to side. So just be aware of that. It's not dangerous, but obviously it doesn't look good if you're at a distance. Now, that one over behind the camera that I did second, it's in a more awkward place. I'm never going to be there. It really doesn't bother me. The one over this side, however, saves me so much room. Whereas before I was using the tripod would have taken up about this much room, and the tripod would have wobbled a lot as well. So I mean, like my sense and everything was off as far as the sensors go. Now, last thing to check is basically that the sensors are in the right spot. The only way to do that is boot up the HTC Vive and make sure that I can see as far as optical sync goes and everything's working. But that's it. So that's the whole thing. I will have another video up about doing my sounding in here. So I have a big crate from an Irish manufacturer with soundproof stuff in it. So that's the next one. Keep an eye out for that. If you have any questions about the setup, about the tension bars themselves, about the Vive, feel free to drop a comment in YouTube or Twitter or wherever you can find me, because all my social media stuff is down there. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back again very soon. So, see you.